Good evening. This is Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. And after almost a month, more than a month, I come back here with Canto 15 or La Divina Commedia, Paradiso. Now, there have been a few issues, with this live presentation going on for a long time. It's only for 30 days. I've had to rethink what I do with it, and I'll just continue, and we'll see what happens in the future. I can't explain it all now, but we are going to concentrate ourselves on Canto 15 of Paradiso. Now, Canto 15 and Canto 16 and Canto 17 and just a tiny bit of Canto 18 are dedicated to it's sort of a group of canti that talk about, Dante changes the way he's sort of was approaching this, Paradiso is all about the doctrine and theology, etc. It's still about these things, but this is a human touch, because he meets in this canto here Cacciaguida, that's his forefather, and he was a militante, a spirito militante. In other words, he was a Christian. He was a crusader, and he died in battle. As a result of that, Dante saw that he was rewarded put him in paradise, and he was, as a spirito militante, he came up to him and spoke to him. And therefore, when he spoke to Dante, he wanted to know about the time when he was alive, and also, in this next three canti, we'll discover that Dante actually saw Firenze, la sua città, his city, in a different light, because before it was like Melbourne when I came, and now, 61 years later, I came on this very day, on the 10th of March, 1963. I arrived here on a ship called Roma with my 4 sisters and mother, and we joined up with Dad after 9 years. So it was a very special time. And here we go. We're still going, and hopefully we'll go for a long time. And thank you very much to Stephen Ross Ferraro for coming on. I appreciate someone coming on. I've just started. This is the first time in over a month, and there you are. Bang, fantastic. Canto 15 will consist of the analysis of the canto itself, and then the reading of the canto, and then what I will do after that, I'll do a couple of poems, because I wanted to do Italian literature and my own poetry, and then 3 songs from Coro All'Improvviso, program number 15. We did last time, we did 3 of them, and this time here, we are doing 3 more songs. So that's the program for today. And there's one development here. I'm going to go live, as well as on here, on Facebook. I'll be going live on YouTube as well. So I want to test other platforms as well with the live option. And welcome to Tony Angelino. The live option gives us a lot of opportunities, and the big companies do what they want. If you noticed on my Facebook page, all of my work, my Dante work, my lessons, they've all gone, gone from Facebook. And I've tried to get them back, and, we're still working on it. Let's hope that we can get them back. So it's a time for change. As they say in Italian, si chiude una porta, si apre un portone. Makes me think about what else can we do with this. So I'm enjoying the online work. I'm so happy for people like Stephen Ross Ferraro and No Limits, and Ross Talarico, a lot of other people, Max 99, and there are a lot of people who are using these platforms, they're putting them to good use. So congratulations to everyone, and let's keep going. Now, my 5 minutes are up. It's 8:08. I'm going to start with Canto 15. And so we'll start with, first of all, cheers to you. Now, what is Canto 15 about? I'll tell you in a minute. We are in the Cielo di Marte. You know, we left the other one. We left the other Cielo, so we've gone up one step. If you look up the other ones on YouTube, you know, under Divina Commedia, in TomPadulaTV, and also in Insegna.com, the actual presentations are there from 1 to, well, this is program number 93. It's program number 93, and I said it's the 10th of March 2024. Okay, so these are the spiriti militanti, okay? These are, and Cacciaguida is, of course, Dante's forefather. Here we go. In the heavenly spheres of Mars, the singing falls silent, and a light resembling a shooting star, flashes across the sky to the foot of the cross-shaped collection of lights. The light figure warmly greets Dante. Now, those lights there are there, and they form a cross, and so the light, the shooting stars, goes to the bottom of the cross, okay? The light figure warmly greets Dante and explains why his happiness surpasses that of the other souls. He is Dante's great-great-grandfather, Cacciaguida. Dante's reunion with his ancestor is one of the most emotional moments in the Divine Comedy. It links Dante not only with his own forefather, but also with the intangible history of his beloved Florence. Cacciaguida will guide Dante in a discussion of divine and earthly justice, one of Paradise's key themes. So, you know, we're talking about theology here, okay? So the study of God, if you like, who is God, what is our relationship with him, etc. Cacciaguida speaks nostalgically of the Florence of his own day. It was, he says, a place of modesty, chasteness and peace. It wasn't a particularly magnificent city. People lived in unassuming houses, and they were content with ordinary occupations, inconspicuous clothing and warm-hearted family life. Cacciaguida himself left Florence, he explained, to go on a crusade where he was killed and detached forever from earthly vanities. So this little bit here about lived in unassuming houses, etc., etc. This is a movement today in our, advanced world. There are a lot of people who feel that they want to go back to that sort of, you can't go back, of course, but, unassuming houses and content with ordinary occupations, inconspicuous clothing, a warm-hearted family life, and good friends and good music, etc. Okay, so that's Cacciaguida talking about. Cacciaguida himself left Florence, he explains, to go on a crusade where he was killed and detached forever from earthly vanities. Cacciaguida idealizes 12th century Florence as a happy place because of its simplicity, moderation and absence of wickedness. In these days, it's meant to contrast sharply with the decadent Florence of Dante's era. Dante's era was the 13th century, the early part of the 13th century. Cacciaguida is known to have served as a knight in the Second Crusade, dying about the middle of the 12th century. Though he values the simple joys of earthly life, they pale next to the heavenly glories to which his martyr's death granted him entrance. Notice the martyr's death. Martyr death. Now, some religions are still using this sort of analogy to send people to the afterlife because they fight for their religion. Well, I don't know. Things have really. The thing about in my world history classes, I'm sort of looking at these matters, and they are very very important even in today's world. So Dante himself is a very modern writer in many ways. Of course, you have to study him, okay? So La Divina Commedia, I have the 3 books at Insegna.com. If anyone is really interested in good Italian literature and feels that they want to read books, of course, all these canti are also translated into English as well, and you'll find them online as well. Okay, so here we go with Canto 15. One more drink. This is the Italian, so if you don't understand the Italian very well, don't worry. I have great difficulties myself. Here we go. Benigna volontade in che si liqua sempre l'amor che direttamente spira, come cupidità fa nella iniqua silenzio puose a quella dolce lira e fece quietar le sante corde che la destra del cielo allenta e tira. So, bisogna volontà che si liqua. So, io la volontà di fare il bene, in cui si manifesta sempre l'amore che si dirige a Dio, a love for God. Welcome to Antonio Danzi. A love for God, you know, it has to be preeminent in the way we live. So this what Benigno che si liqua sempre l'amor che direttamente ispira, this direttamente ispira from God to us. E fece quietar le sante corde. So what happened there is that these people here, the spiriti militanti, they become, I think, silent soon after. Now, come saranno a giusti preghi sorde quelle sustanze che per darmi voglia ch'io le pregassi a tacer fur concorde? So they all, because Dante arrived, they all were quiet because Cacciaguida was going to meet him, of course. Bene che senza termine si doglia chi, per amor di cosa che non duri eternalmente, quello amor si spoglia. So this bene, è giusto che si dolga in eterno chi per amore di beni effimeri si priva dell'amore rivolto a Dio. So, you know, in life we make a choice to follow earthly pleasures, if you like, or to renounce some of these for our approach, the way we approach our life and live our life according to Mother Church, according to the way that we are directed to do. It's from within, okay? So, amor di cose che non duri eternalmente. So, se non le cose che non durano, you gotta watch them because they can, you know, they can lead you astray. Okay, let's go on. Quale per li seren tranquilli e puri discorre ad or subito fuoco, movendo gli occhi che stavano sicuri, e pare stella che tramuti loco, se non che da parte onde s'accende nulla sen perde, ed esso dura poco. Tale del corno che in destro si stende a piedi quella croce, corse un astro della costellazione che lì risplende. Né si partì la gemma dal suo nastro, ma per la lista radial trascorse che parve fuoco dietro ad alabastro. So, have you ever seen a shooting star? That shooting star, it comes from on top to this spirito militante at the bottom of the cross. Is, you know, it shoots such a light, a real light, like all'alba, when you know, just before the daylight, you get this really bright sky, and that's what happened to that particular soul, the militante soul, the crusader. In other words, we don't know yet, but we do know because we've read the chapter. It is Cacciaguida. So here we go. So, si pia l'ombra d'anchise si porse, se fede merta nostra maggior musa, quando in Eliso del figlio s'accorse, O sanguis meus, o superinfusa, gratia Dei, sicut tibi cui bis unquam celi janua reclusa. This is Latin, by the way. I'm going to read it to you. O sangue mia, e grazie di Dio abbondantemente infusa in te, a chi mai come a te è stata aperta la porta dei cieli 2 volte. So this one here, the soul that meets him says, this is like the soul in the Aeneid. There's another, Virgil's big work, like Dante, Aeneid. He was able to go into paradise. There are 2 people, St. Paul and Aeneid. In the Aeneid, Virgil was able to go into the afterlife, except they had a different connection. Dante's connection is much more substantial. So, O sanguis meus, so he says, O sangue mio, Sophie Giuliana, welcome. And Marita Gibb too, wow. Sanguis meus, o superinfusa, gratia Dei, sicut tibi cui vis unquam celi janua reclusa. So, welcome. Così quel lume, that's lume, the spirito, lo spirito of Cacciaguida. On Dio m'attesi a lui, poscia rivolsi alla mia donna il viso e quindi stupefatto fui. So he turns around towards Beatrice and says, what are you doing to me, Beatrice? What's going on here? What's this? I can't see this light. What's there? She smiles at him, of course, and then welcome to Pino Solazzo as well. And she says, see what happens when you got to the next level of paradise? This is the Cielo di Marte. Paradise is divided into, I think, 9 parts, can't remember now, but about, and each one sort of goes up and up and up, like we go up on a high skyscraper. So God is right at the top. You're not going to go there easily. You have to work your way through. And he allowed Dante, of course, to visit the 3 stages of the afterlife. E quindi stupefatto fui, so he was really taken aback. What's this? Che dentro agli occhi suoi ardeva un riso. So she was smiling. Dante, see what's happening there. Tal che io pensai che miei toccar lo fondo della mia gloria e del mio paradiso. So he was, we've arrived. No, he hasn't arrived, really. It's just another stage. And here we go. Indi, a udire e a veder giocondo, giunse lo spirito al suo principio cose, che io non lo intesi, si parlò profondo. So with a deep voice, says, né per elezione mi si nascose, ma per necessità, che il suo concetto al segno di mortal si sovrappuose. So in other words, he appeared to Dante. First as a light, and then slowly, I'm not sure whether Dante actually sees him, because even though they're souls, I think Dante can see the body, or at least the lineaments of these people. So he says, and insists to him, he says, per necessità, for necessity, che il suo concetto al segno di mortal si sovrappose. So in other words, he had a body in life, he died, there he's here. Do we have this image? Well, I suppose you could say it's a virtual image of Cacciaguida. Why not? We understand it now. Dante didn't have a clue about that. E quando l'arco dell'ardente affetto fussi sfogato, che il parlar discese in verlo segno del nostro intelletto, in prima cosa che per me si intese, in prima cosa, so he directs his views to him. So he says, see, lo segno del nostro, e il parlar discese, si sfogà. So in other words, this began to talk to him. And he says, in prima cosa che per me si intese, benedetto sia tu, fu trino e uno che nel mio seme sei tanto cortese. Blessed are you that you come from my seme, from my seed. In other words, you are part of my family. in the past, of course, but you are. E seguì, e seguì. Grato e lontano digiuno, tratto leggendo del magno volume, du non si muta mai bianco né bruno, solvuto hai, figlio, dentro a questo lume, ch'io ti parlo, mercé di colei che all'alto volo ti vestì le piume. So thanks to Beatrice, who is further up in paradise and who's accompanying you through here. And thank you to the work that you're going to do. In other words, Cacciaguida knew that Dante was a very special person and that he was on a mission. It wasn't a mission like a crusader, but it was an intellectual mission to explain to people the relationship of their presence with God. And in my history class, I have two lines. One is a vertical line, one is an horizontal line. The vertical is of time immemorial, from millions of years ago to now, and the other one is across the various continents of the earth. Now, the ones of the vertical line, doesn't matter how far men and women, will go into the heavens to discover the universe. Somebody right at the beginning must have had a hand in its creation. Now, it doesn't matter that there's a black hole or 20 black holes in the universe. God is God. So in other words, if you have faith, that's what it means. You don't need to know anything at all. In fact, that's what religions do. They expect people to have faith. In other words, don't do what you think, you might think of doing. Just follow what we say, because we represent God. And Dante lived in the Middle Ages. He was surrounded with this sort of philosophy of life. He had to follow. And, in fact, when he was exiled, he had gone to the Pope to present his credentials and about Florence, say, give us a hand. But he was anti-papal. Dante wasn't, he was a free thinker in many ways of his time, but he still followed what he had to follow. So here we go. Saluto hai, figlio, dentro a questo lume in ch'io ti parlo, mercé di colei che all'alto volo ti vestì le piume. Beatrice, tu credi che a me tuo pensier mei da quel che primo, così come raia dell'un se si conosce il 5 e il 6. E però ch'io mi sia e perché io paia già più gaudioso a te, non mi domandi che alcun altro in questa turba gaia. So all the people here, look at me, I'm so happy, even though, even though you might think, but who's this guy here? Who's this guy? He says, I can read your thoughts, or Dante Alighieri. I can read it, can read your thoughts. So just bear with me, I'll tell you who I am. Tu credi che il vero che i minori e grandi di questa vita miran nello specchio in che, prima che pensi il pensier panti, ma perché il sacro amore in che io veglio con perpetua vista e che m'asseta di dolce disiar se d'empia meglio, la voce tua sicura, balde, lieta, suoni la volontà, suoni il desio, a che la mia risposta è già decreta. So, he says, look what happens to us, to me. I have to have another drink, otherwise I won't be able to go on. Tu credi il vero, che i minori, i grandi, eccetera, eccetera, eccetera. So, here, we said, il riferimento è al diverso grado di beatitudine che hanno le anime in paradiso. So, there's a gradual there's a gradual beatitude factor in each soul, depending on what they've done and how they've presented themselves with their life to God. So these are spiriti militanti. They fought for the church and for God, for the Christian God, of course, at the time. But Dante, during the course of the Divine Comedy, also has great respect of the gods of the past, although without giving them the credit that he credited the God of the Christians and the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. He credited them differently from, but before Christ was born, life was lived. The original sin of Adam was being punished over time. And when Christ resurrected himself, he went into paradise. And in fact, some of these souls are now in Paradiso. So it's not true that the people from the past didn't have access to Paradiso or to Purgatorio. So this is, Dante, the spiritual Dante. Of course, the church would never accept something like that at the time. Tu credi il vero che i minori di questa vita mirano nello specchio in che prima che pensi il pensier panti, ma perché il sacro amore in che io veglio con perpetua vista e che m'asseta di dolce desiar s'adempia meglio, la voce tua sicura, balda e lieta suoni la volontà, suoni il desio, a che la mia risposta è già decreta. So io mi rivolsi, So he says here, ma affinché l'amore divino nel quale io veglio con eterna contemplazione e che mi rende desideroso di seguire la volontà divina, si realizzi pienamente, la tua voce sicura, franca e lieta esprima la tua volontà, esprima il tuo desiderio per il quale la mia risposta è già pronta. So he says, whatever you ask me, I will answer you. Because that's, their spiriti di Dio, they can't say no. They're in paradise, nothing to fear. And so here we go. And that's Dante. Io mi volsi a Beatrice e quella udio pria che io parlassi e arrisemi un cenno che fece crescere l'ali al voler mio. So, it turns towards Beatrice. She already knows what she's going to ask. So he says, she smiles at him, and and Dante understood, says, mi diede le ali, so he had the wings al voler mio, what I wanted to know. Poi cominciai così, and so then he began. L'affetto e il senno come la prima qualità va apparse, d'un peso per ciascun di voi si fenno, però che il sol che v'allumò e arse col caldo e con la luce e si uguali, che tutte somiglianze sono scarse. So, all right, sol militante, you have, you've been called to paradise. But I don't have the vision that you have. Tell me who you are. That's what he's trying to get at. And he wants to ask him questions as well. Ma voglia e argomento nei mortali per la cagion che a voi è manifesta, diversamente son pennuti innali. Ond'io che son mortal mi sento in questa disuguaglianza, e però non ringrazio se non col cuore e la paterna festa. So he says, look, I don't have the gift of being a spirit. So therefore, there is an unequal balancing here between you and me. Ben supplico io a te. Vivo Topazio. Topazio is it's like a gem, it's one of those light rocks. Vivo Topazio, che questa gioia preziosa in gemmi, perché mi facci del tuo nome sazio. Tell me who you are. But look how he does it. Look how ben supplico io a te, vivo Topazio, che questa gioia preziosa in gemmi, perché mi facci del tuo nome sazio. So I will satisfy myself with your name. Amazing. O fronda mia, in che io compiacemmi pur aspettando, io fui la tua radice, I was your roots, the roots of your tree. Cotal principio rispondendo femmi, poscia mi disse, quel da cui si dice tua cognazione è che 100 anni è più girato il mondo in la prima cornice, mio figlio fu e tuo bisavol fu, ben si conviene che la lunga fatica tu li accorci con l'opere tue. So I lived before you 100 years, and I was your great-great-grandfather. And he doesn't mention Cacciaguida, does he, really? I'm assuming that Dante, without telling him who he is, he goes into a adversary tactic here. He says, he wants to know, you tell me, how's Florence now, my beloved Florence, how is she doing? That's what he hasn't told him yet, that he's Cacciaguida. Fiorenze dentro della cerchia antica, ond'ella toglie ancora e terza e nona, si stava in pace, sobria e pudica. So in other words, in the Florence of my time, in those walls, they had walls around Florence, in that little space there, we were, si stava in pace, we were in peace, sobria. We didn't look for gold and, and all the sumptuous things that people are looking for, e pudica, and we kept our character pure. Non aveva catenella, non corona, non gonne contigiate, non cintura che fosse a veder più che la persona. So we didn't wear all this, these things here. We were very humble. Non faceva nascendo ancor paura la figlia al padre, che il tempo e la dote non fuggian quinci e quindi la misura. So there is I just read today, welcome to Dina Corsini, I just read today about la dote. La dote was what a woman, a girl, because, don't forget Adam he made Eva, be born from his sides. So woman wasn't according to religion, etc. Wasn't born directly from God. He was born through Adam. So always one removed. And then all of us, we are removed from that time onwards, according to them. So non faceva nascere ancora paura la figlia al padre. So the daughters would be very respectful of the father, and if the father said, you marry him, then she did. So, in other words, this was la dote, mentioning la dote, okay, what the woman brings to the marriage. So, that non aveva case di famiglia vote, non v'era giunto ancora sardanapalo, a mostrare ciò che in camera si puote, sardanapalo. I missed this one. Non aveva case prive di prole, non vi erano giunte ancora sardanapalo a dimostrare il grado di corruzione che si può raggiungere nella vita privata. So they weren't as corrupted as they might be now, he says. Non era vinto ancora Montemalo dal vostro uccellatoio, che come è vinto nel montar su, così sarà nel calo. So in other words, this is one of the mountains near Florence. We didn't go up there. Bellincion Berti vidio andar cinto di cuoio e d'osso e venir dallo specchio la donna sua senza il viso dipinto. These are descriptions of the Florence of the time when Cacciaguida was alive. And io vidi Bellincion Berti indossare una semplice cintura di cuoio ed osso, in other words, very simply dressed, and his wife didn't have all the other vestments, and didn't use il trucco. Was a very simple woman. E vidi quel di Nerli e quel del vecchio essere contenti alla pelle scoperta e le sue donne al fuso e al pennecchio. So it describes the way things were then in Florence. Very simply, women and men lived a simple life. O fortunate, ciascuna era certa della sua sepoltura e ancora nulla era per Francia nel letto diserta. So, France, of course, invaded Florence, and Florence became the center of commerce in Europe, and they were the first ones to start a bank. Interesting. L'una vegliava a studio della culla e consolando usava l'idioma che prima i padri e le madri trastulla. L'altra, traendo alla rocca la chioma, favoleggiava con la sua famiglia di Troiani, di Fiesole e di Roma. Wow. Where are we? 117. In quel periodo allora sarebbe stata ritenuta una cosa fuori dell'ordinario una donna dissoluta come Cianghella o un politico corrotto come Lapo Salterello. Ora lo sarebbe Cincinnato Cornelia. These are the corrupting influence within the Florence of the time, with reference to Roma antica. Ha così riposato e ha così bello vivere di cittadini, ha così fida cittadinanza, ha così dolce ostello. Beautiful. Maria mi die, chiamato in alte grida, e nell'antico vostro battisteo insieme fui cristiano e cacciaguida. After all that, he says, I was born and baptized in the battistero, still there. E fui cristiano e cacciaguida. Here, eh? So there you are. Incredible, huh? He did all that in order to give us an explanation of how people lived in Florence during his time. 100 years before Dante, still pretty close, you know, like us with the 20th century. Now you want to know what's going to go, you know, in the 21st, so same sort of thing. Moronto fu mio frate ed Eliseo, mia donna venne a me di Val di Pado, e quindi il soprannome tuo si feo. Il soprannome, which I don't like, but anyway, everyone seems to have one in Italy. Here, there are a lot of notes here relating to these people in the book, and you can, you know, just a couple of these notes would take me half an hour. So I just have to skip and go on and keep skipping on. We're talking about people here who, you know, who lived right at the end. Poi seguitai lo imperatore Currado. That's what Cacciaguida says. Ed el mi cinse della sua milizia, and he went into the army, tanto per ben ovrarli venni in grado. Dietro li andai incontro alla iniquizia di quella legge il cui popolo usurpa. In other words, per colpa di pastor vostra giustizia, Sestino Ortensio, welcome. Qui vi fui io da quella gente turpa, disviluppato dal mondo fallace, lo cui amor molt'anime deturpa, e venni dal martirio a questa pace. So he became a crusader, he went into the Middle East in the Second Crusade, and he fell. He died fighting for Mother Church, and therefore then God in his wisdom said, well, you have, or rather than God, Christ says, come with me to paradise. You fought for me. I must admit this particular chapter 15 and 16 and 17, they're together. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to do Canto 16 and then Canto 17. I want to do the three of them in a quick pace, so that I'll be able to put them on Facebook one after the other, and then, of course, transfer them to other places. But as I said, I will be using YouTube from now on as well, and go to it. I still, I have to trial it out, but if it works, then I'll have two platforms, and I'll be able to do justice to both of them. as I said, una porta si chiude e un portone si apre when, things happen that are outside of our control. This first capitolo 15 of the three, one of the three, talks about Cacciaguida, who gives his name right at the end, and just show 805. Oh yeah, we've taken the usual steps. Okay, I'm very conscious of time. So, as I was saying, this first part is about Cacciaguida, is about his story. Then we move on to Dante's time. Says, tell me about Firenze and Italy, I suppose, as well, in a generic. But he was more interested being parrocchiano, being from old Florence. He would be attached, very much attached to his own città, paese. Florence was un paese, really, a big town when Cacciaguida was alive. Okay, so that's it for tonight, and because it's 8:05, I'll be finishing about 9:10. So I now will be reading to you. Thank you very much for all those people who come. Very surprised that all of you have come this Sunday afternoon, and it's a real pleasure to see your names. I know all of you, and I respect each one of you with great affection, really and truly. Okay, this is now from my book, Indulgenza. This is my second book, by the way, Amica Poesia 2. What I've done, I've given it to the printer, and I'll be able to have this particular book pretty soon, next month or so. And I have the English version. I got plenty of copies of the English version, but I made very few copies when I first made it. So now I will be able to do the second volume of Amica Poesia, both in English and Italian. The first volume, I have plenty of copies of first and second, so remember that. Indulgenza, here we go. Tutto quello che vuoi mangiare e lo fai, tu metti alla prova il tuo stomaco ed i lavori del tuo corpo. Tu gonfi e guardi con stupore. Come può essere? Ci vogliono solo pochi minuti per soffrire la mancanza di volontà. Non è un successo, sicuramente. Tu stai pagando il prezzo con indumenti che sono troppo piccoli. Tu sembri un tu cresciuto di misura, con magliette e pantaloncini che non ti vanno più. Il tuo aspetto è cambiato insieme alla tua forma. Sei determinato a risolvere il tuo vizio, la tua indulgenza, scegliendo il cibo giusto. Poi il tempo per mangiare arriva di nuovo. Tu socializzi, fai feste e ti diverti ad ogni occasione. C'è una commemorazione, un compleanno o una riunione di famiglia. Come puoi tu vincere le tue riconosciute debolezze? È una contraddizione disperata il fatto che vuoi mangiare di meno, mentre in paesi straziati dalla guerra qualcuno sogna i tuoi eccessi. It's a bit like, it's a nice one, Indulgenza. I would have said something else too there at the end. I would have said, it's a contradiction, sure, but, I've taken on it as a challenge. I lost quite a bit of weight since 2012. So 2024, a dozen years now, I've been fighting this, and I've lost a little bit. And if you look at my old footage of, TomPadulaTV there on YouTube, you'll see the difference. Incredible. Now, I also have a dear poet from Italian literature called Leopardi, Giacomo Leopardi. This one here is actually a poem that goes very well with this particular Canto 15. Si chiama Imitazione. It's about a leaf that falls from the tree, and it goes everywhere. Lungi don't forget, this one here is from 200 years ago, 250 years ago. lungi dal proprio ramo, povera foglia frale, dove vai tu? Dal faggio, là dove io nacqui, mi divise il vento. Esso, tornando a volo dal bosco alla campagna, dalla valle mi porta alla montagna. Seco perpetuamente, vo pellegrina, e tutto l'altro ignoro. Vo dove ogni altra cosa, dove naturalmente va la foglia di rosa e la foglia d'alloro. So leaves, when they fall, where do they go? Where did they go? Where did Dante go when he was, he was exiled? So, in other words, Florence was his tree, and he was one of the leaves of the tree, and so he then was stato staccato, I like that very much. Now, if you're patient with me, I'll keep on talking because I have to go back to my iCloud. Here we go. And there are 3 songs that are prepared today. Well, prepared, they're already there anyway. They are A Sonnambula, Vagabondo, Funiculi, Funicula, e A Sonnambula. Very nice. I enjoyed it very much. So let's see if I can now go back to where we're supposed to be, right? So here we go. Yes. No. Yes. I've had to, so I've got it here, but except there's a problem here. I have to go out of here and then come back, okay? So be patient with me because this is the technology. I'm one person really. So I have to go out, then come back in, then go and find it, etc., etc. So here we go. What do I do now? I can't remember. Oh, yes, I know what to do. Here we go. You have to be patient with technology. I can't believe it. And like Joe Biden says, age doesn't matter. It's, what you do with it that matters. Here we go. We're getting there. It's all right. I'll be very happy when I finish. Come on. Yes. These are all the steps I've got to go through in order to get to what I want. There we are. That's another step done. The next one. And this gives me the pictures. And then I have to go to where I was before. And then I'll be able to start and give you the 3 songs. Come on, Tommaso. Do a good job here. Yes. Oh, yes. Come on. We're almost there. Almost there. I'm waiting for the dates. 27. Dates. We need 12. And then we write. A bit more. Almost there. Be patient. How do you find that? Are you inspired with this Dante Alighieri, or are you interested in it? It's one of those, one of those literary challenges that everyone has to go through. I've got it here now. I'm ready. And before I do anything else, I'm going to show you. Dora Marchese, look in her. There we are. I'm just going to show you a few things. Now we'll do this first. Here we go. Okay, I'm ready to show you. Where are we? Yes. Wait a minute. Here we go. Okay. Now I know that there won't be any interruptions now. Okay. So there we are. 1, 2, and 3. This is the second set. This is Coro All'Improvviso number 15. And yeah, we're enjoying it today. And it's starting to rain outside, but we have beautiful trio of songs now. And Dora is very happy. They couple me up all the ones in there. Okay, so let's start with Vagabondo. Of course, Nicola Di Bari will be very happy for us to sing it.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, Rena, are we ready?
Yeah.
Almost, okay. Okay, let's go with Vagabondo.
Sulle spalle nella notte blu, nel cuore una chitarra, veramente cose strane, e sull'occhio un po' di ingenuità. Vagabondo, vagabondo, qualche santo mi dirà, ho venduto le mie scarpe per un minimo di libertà. Da sole non si vive, senza amore non morirò. Vagabondo, sto sognando, delirando. Le gambe van da sole, la storia sembra un fiume, chissà dove andrà. Neppure tu, ragazza, sai fermare la mia corsa. Negli occhi tuoi non c'è sincerità. Vagabondo, vagabondo, qualche santo mi girerà. Ho venduto le mie scarpe per un minimo di libertà. Da soli non si vive, senza amore non morirò. Vagabondo, sto sognando, delirando. Vagabondo, vagabondo, qualche santo mi guiderà. Ho venduto le mie scarpe per un miglio di libertà. Da soli non si vive, senza amore non morirò. Vagabondo, sto sognando, delirando.
Welcome to Dina Corsini. We're doing the next song now. And here we go. Introduction. This next song is Furiculi, Furicula. There's no need for introductions here. We're going to go into it because it's a song that's, so popular really.
Very popular, yeah.
Worldwide. Okay.
Popular song, yes.
Furiculi, Furicula. Huh? Dora, Rina, Furiculi, Furicula.
Spagna, io vengo a te, ti dato con la furia di tuo fatte, vincere sarà come lo Dio da vita sette, guarda sanie, sempre sanie, yamme, dopo yamme, dopo yamme, se ne saluto miei che la luce, la canta già, e giunto che ho tornato poi tenuta, sta sempre qua, la capa volta a volta, torna attorno a te. Stupore, canta sempre molta amore, sposa moglie, yamme, dopo yamme, dopo yamme,
Next one.
This is a very, very popular song in the Neapolitan repertoire. As you know, a young girl that goes around, in the middle of the night, walking around and sleeping at the same time. As you know. And Aurelio Fierro, of course, sang it, and when he sang it, he had the public in his hands. He didn't he? Aurelio Fierro. So thank you, Aurelio Fierro. We do honor to you, we remember you, okay?
Remembering you, yeah.
Sul naso.
E fa amore con me,
Carmela è una bambola,
e fa amore con me, ma mamma è terribile, non può far vedere, allora giocate, un bel ritrovate, Carmela fa su una malata, e me la trovate, e fa scema mamma. E qua scusa che non sono bambola, che sta bambola e che fa, perché se la rivolta, basta che non ci passeggiare. Non parlate che sei straniero, e il venerdì che sa perché, era su un'ambola che la bambola, era su un'ambola da me. O parte un arcangelo, per dispietto non vuoi. Ne sono antipatico e mi ha detto che no, mamma che me morte, che te l'ha porta, Carmela come al solito mi viene a congiurare
E fa scema
mamma. E che scusa che non sul bambola, che sta bambola e che fa, tutte sere le roba, l'astica non mica passeggiare. Non parlasti che non san io, e le dico se ne fa te, era su un'ambola che una bambola, fa su un'ambola da me, era su un'ambola che una bambola, fa su un'ambola da me. Un coppo la seguito, ci scondiglio, e le dico su perché,
a me che me ne importa, io tengo aperta la porta, Carmela come al solito mi viene a consolare
e fa scema papà. Guarda scusa che non sono bambola, che sta bambola ne che fa, tutte sere le roba, l'astica non mica passeggiare. In bel vento del cammino, e le dico sta perché, era su un'ambola che una bambola, era su un'ambola, braccia a me, era su un'ambola che una bambola, fa su un'ambola, braccia a me.
Wow. Just a little bit more now. And
We've just finished, and
6 songs. That wasn't too bad, was it?
Six numbers, yeah.
You make in very short time.
Very short process.
We've done it all because I forgot the songs at the shop, so I had to
You
go
have to go
back.
back.
You had to go back and buy it.
And when I came back, we've done these 6 songs in record
Yeah,
time.
you made it back.
So if they're okay, don't forget there's no rehearsal here. We just go straight in.
That's it, whatever comes our way,
That's
we
the truth.
deal with
Whatever
it.
comes our way, we try to, of course,
We try to do the best.
we
anyway.
try to
Even if
imitate
there is
imitate
something
the
wrong.
original
Yeah,
singers.
that's right.
Yeah, we try to do it the way they did it,
Yeah,
but our own way, of course. And Dora, of course, is enjoying it because there's some songs that she knows very well, and some others she struggles with, but she gets over it.
But she knows what to take.
And you know what I've said to her? I said, you got to sing as well. And she said, but I can't play and sing. I said, yes, you can. Yes, you can. At least you can hum as well. Ok, well, grazie mille per oggi.
Niente da fatto.
È stato un vero piacere.
Thank you
Pure
a
per
te,
noi,
Tom.
pure per
Grazie
noi.
a te, grazie.
Ok.
Alla prossima.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao.
Don't forget, all these songs are on YouTube, Facebook first, and then they go to YouTube and insegna.com. Insegna.com, okay?
Yeah.
Ok, and TomPadulaTV,
Bravo,
etc. Ciao, ciao.
Good on you, Tom.
Ciao per oggi.
Well, if you're still there, it's been a challenge. Look, there are, the Coro All'Improvviso program. Now I've just finished program 22, and with Dora we're doing 19. So things are moving, and these songs, the idea of these songs, to introduce them to the general public that doesn't know Italian or Italian culture very well or at all. But for those people who speak Italian or want to learn Italian, the idea is for you to sing these songs, because with the learning of languages, it's listening, reading aloud, then writing. You can copy the words, writing, and finally the speaking will come later naturally. It's like with the songs. If it's long, if you sing them long enough, the ritornello, the chorus lines, you pick up straight away. The other bits are a bit harder. The actual storyline. So some people then select in the mix. They only select the chorus line because they when you're in a club and you're playing. If the people are enjoying themselves, you don't worry about the rest. But mine is a different ball game here. Mine is an educational thing, activity. Therefore, I'll get criticised on one side, but then there's a service on the other. So there's a plus and a minus in both ways of doing things. Maybe the two things together are the way to go, is the way to go. What else do I've got a few more minutes. I want to speak about my current activities. I am having difficulties with online in general because my knowledge is improving, but the Facebook, all of the platforms, they review their own ways of doing things, and sometimes you're excluded from that progress that they think is progress, and I'm not really happy to just have 30 days for my live on Facebook. But Facebook, they have to look after themselves. So I accept it, not a problem, and I'll continue to use the system as it's presented to me. But also then I will go further out afield and do some things directly on YouTube as well, okay, or any other platform if it comes my way. So that's my freedom to do things the way I please as well, and independence, very important. I've started a school called Adult Education Centre in my old building in Brunswick. It's called Tom's now. My name, Tom's Place. Look it up. and there I offer languages in Italian, and I've got one class now, French, world history, and also technology, because I believe that people in the third age, including Joe Biden, he should be able to have his iPhone or Samsung or whatever phone that you've got and actually use it properly. I use iPhone 13. You need an upgrade, but you can't always upgrade or even buy it. So these things are expensive. But I encourage people to have one of these in their hands and slowly learn to use it and never give up. And on that note, what did I say I would finish? Let me have a look. I said I would finish at 9:10 p.m. I've got one more minute to thank you for coming on. I would appreciate sometimes somebody to actually write me a few lines about my work. It's good to get some feedback occasionally, okay? And on that note, we're getting to the end. Once again, grazie mille. Ci vediamo magari domani for the next one, program number 94, which will be Canto 16. So there you are. For the first time, I've actually mentioned that we're going to be on tomorrow. We'll see whether it's the morning or it'll be in the morning, mid-morning, and I'll come on with this other one, okay? And then during the week, I'll do the third one in order to finish off with Caccia Guida. Okay. On that note, grazie mille di nuovo. Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers, and of course, right here on Facebook right now. Ciao.